Hello, and welcome to eMindset Academy. I'm Dr. Pam Mayer. My job is to help you add science to the art of innovation. If you're asking yourself, how can I bring the mindset that I need as a leader to the teams, projects, or groups that you manage or work with? Well, you've come to the right place. Perhaps you're wondering, how do I miss out? Am I missing the opportunity to drive innovation? Perhaps you're wondering, what are the capabilities of my team? How do I measure those? Well, innovation does require, of course, experimentation, intuition, but the missing ingredient, the one that we've not had, has been the science of innovation. And that's what I'm here to talk with you about today. I really know too well about this gap because I've lived there. So let me tell you my story about that. It was 2008, and I was working at the time in a global corporation as Director of Executive Development when we entered the Great Recession in the United States and later worldwide. My job at the time was to oversee leadership training and executive coaching across the globe, so I traveled everywhere, across the United States, Europe, Asia, South America. And not unlike today, we were unsure about the future, and we really needed strong leadership in the area of innovation. But as I was traveling about, I saw some very wide differences in managers' capabilities to be creative and to really build the team that they needed to build to be innovative. And I realized that leadership was being under siege at that time because we were all trying to get to that place of more innovation. But some people were just doing the old methods more, stronger. Others who were trying to think out of the box, well, sometimes managers bore down on those people. So that was hard as well. When I realized that this was an opportunity, all of a sudden my quest changed, and I knew where to go for help. I had spent almost 10 years at the Center for Creative Leadership as a senior trainer, a branch manager, vice president at the center, and I knew our longest-standing licensee was the place to go. So I went to the Leadership Development Institute at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, and I met with some colleagues there, and I said, we need a measurement of entrepreneurial mindset. We don't have one valid and reliable that our managers can use because they need to understand the capabilities of themselves and their teams. This is a hard time for them. And within a few years, very few actually, in about 3 years, 2 other colleagues and myself, in fact, were able to create the entrepreneurial mindset profile. That came onto the market in 2013. We did more research on that tool, and by 2016, it was written up in the Journal of Consulting Psychology as a valid and reliable tool for leaders. At the time, our hypothesis was that there would be significant differences between corporate managers and entrepreneurs, and that hypothesis was in fact supported. So that formed the background of the assessment technology that you will find in this certification process. We provide training in the certification process because it's way too frustrating just to fly blind. And one of the things that we do is we try to provide a map for you to use in the certification. And you'll notice on the map that it has several steps. The 5 steps on the map that I want you to pay attention to are, number 1, that we start off with spending time on identifying the innovation challenge. Too often we head off in a direction and we don't deeply understand the challenge with which we're dealing. So that's important. The second step on the map, and what happens in the second module of certification, is that you have an opportunity to create a customized profile for your own team, and that profile is used as you work with your team through these practices. And it's customized to your team's context, its organizational context. The next step on the map is to really leverage the talents, because the eMindset profile has two kinds of dimensions, the talent dimensions and the skills dimensions. The talent dimensions, we feel as authors, is a little more hardwired, but still can be leveraged. But if you don't know what they are, then it's hard to do that. So that's the third module and the third step. The fourth step is to build the skills. The skills of eMindset thinking are very learnable and teachable. And as a manager, as a leader of a group or a function, you can do this if you have an outline of practice skills and methods and technology to do so. So that's the fourth module. The fifth and last one is a unique one that brings all of that together and creates eMindset leadership strategies for you to use. So that will be a point at which you'll make some selections based upon the customized profile of your team, based upon your own preferences as a team leader, and where they are in the innovation process at that time. I also want you to know that in the certification process, you will get several things. As an eMindset leader, you'll receive a comprehensive toolkit, and that toolkit will include an 82-page facilitator guide with lots of practices that you can lead and learn with your team or group. You, of course, will have PowerPoint slides to work with your team. You will get a personalized eMindset profile report, and on that report, you will be able to see how you do on the important factors. These are the factors that we measure in the profile. And as you can see there are 7 in the talent category, 7 in the skills category. And your report will give you your personalized profile on each of those 14. And it will compare you to 2 norm groups, the management norm group, as well as the entrepreneurial norm group. So that will be part of your certification kit. And also in your certification kit, you will have access to 5 videos, 1 for each module. You can watch those yourself or with your team. They're intended simply as a resource for you. And as you use the guide, you will find that the videos will parallel the guide. And lastly, we'll have a monthly Q&A call to which you are invited to submit questions, and we can talk to each other about how you're doing and answer questions and cheer for each other to keep going, because you can actually complete this certification in 30 days if you choose to do that. The last thing that I want to point out to you is that we have several questions that you will be able to answer with the certification. Where do I learn the science of eMindset? Right here at the eMindset Academy. Is this eMindset evidence-based? Absolutely. It's based on the research that I've described to you. And what are the characteristics of eMindset? They are the 14 on which you will be assessed and on the report that you will receive. And how is eMindset leadership unique? It's unique because it gives you a chance to focus not only for yourself, but also for your own team on what are the talents you want to leverage given your challenge, your innovation challenge, and your context in your organization. What are the skills that need to be built? If you don't know the answer to those, it's hard to move forward. But now, on your map, with your data and your report, with the profile of your team, you'll be able to answer those questions. And the last question, can I apply eMindset for leading teams? The answer is, not only can you, but you should. Here's a summary of those 5 steps again. Each module represents a different step. Step 1, on the innovation challenge. Step 2, creating the summary for your team. Steps 3 and 4, on talents and skills. And step 5, the leadership strategies to give you an opportunity to step up and really be the leader that you can be. You know, we're in an innovation-driven economy, so I hope you'll join us. You can do that by registering on the tab on this website for certification at your convenience. And perhaps now's the time to step up for you as a leader, because after all, eMindset does matter. Thank you very much.